Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. We're going to talk about in this episode here the cover up of the JFK assassination. Now, was there a cover up? You know, that's the big key fact. When people talk about the JFK assassination, they said there was a cover up, a coup d'etat, or, conspiracy. Was there? When you look at the case and you actually study it like I have and really gone in details, watching the film's images, going over documents after documents, you come to think of a lot of things of who's covering up what, who's hiding the cover up, who's hiding the truth. Now, for years, they said the government is doing this big cover up. Our government is doing this big cover up. Is our government doing this cover up? Not really. Not really. Not whatsoever. Remember, a conspiracy comes from people. Everything you see nowadays is a conspiracy. Because people like using that word a lot, of conspiracy. Because they figure, if I use the word conspiracy, I'm going to be heard. Or, we're going to start something up by saying a conspiracy. People like that word nowadays. I don't like it whatsoever. Because to me, when it comes to research, or when you're analyzing something, or when you're studying something or anything else, and you start looking over the facts, and you start looking over things, stuff like that, he says, what are they covering up? Like the JFK assassination here. For 54 years, researchers are out there saying the government did all the cover-ups. What did they cover up? Seriously, what did they cover up? They'll say that, this film's been altered, that film's been altered, mainly the Zapruder film. Okay, but the Zapruder film wasn't altered. That's just something that put in there for a little drama, a little suspense, because it's not backing up their story. So they have to throw away the film of what you can see, because they're going to tell you a story that does not match anything else. So if there's going to be a story out there, and all of a sudden you got photographic evidence of people, you've seen what's going on, they're going to say, well, we have to get rid of that evidence there, because then people's going to know that the story is different than what they're seeing. So they're going to say the story is false, but not the film. So we're just going to say the film is false, so people believe in the story. Okay, because the story is the only thing that's doing the cover-up. Is the story. The government puts out a story, 3 shots were fired that day, and Oswald was a lone assassin. That's all they're pointing out. Other than that, they're showing evidence to the people, the photographic evidence, other evidence, and everything else. They're showing it to a point. They are showing it. Okay? But all they're doing is covering up the story. They're not covering up assassination. They're covering up a story. Same as all these other conspiracies people out there. They're just telling the story. That's all their story is a cover-up. That's the cover-up when it comes to JFK assassination. Because when we look and see it exactly what happened, this is why people get confused. All right, we have the Mormon photo. We're just going to show some images here right now. We have the Mormon photo. When you zoom in, right here at the location of the 2 gunmen, we see them with rifles in their hand. This is a fact. This is a fact. When we go into the Bell film, we see the gunman hanging out the window with a rifle in his hand on the 2nd floor of the County Records building. We go into Hughes film. Hughes film, we're going to see a shot fired from that window. As you see right here, a shot fired from that window where we see that gunman holding his rifle. Same thing we do when we see an Orville Nix film. Okay, we see a gunman on the side of the shelter taking his shot. We see a gunman on the inside of the shelter taking his shot. And then when we go ahead and we do close-ups, okay, we can actually see the gunman's head right here. We can see his forehead. We can see the hairline coming down. We can see the rifle right here. We can see the rifle fire and the sparks coming from. We see the smoke. Same as we do on the side of the gunman on the side of the shelter. We see his head, his forehead, the hairline, how it comes around. We see him firing his rifle, and we see the smoke trail. So see, what are they hiding? In a Zapruder film, we're going to look at it and see when JFK was shot, when the bullet strikes here, bullet strikes there. Okay, we're going to see all of this. Okay, we're going to know exactly, just like right here. We have a manhole cover being struck right here, frame 399, 401, bullet ricocheting upward. Go to Dealey Plaza Day. We got a bullet hole here and a bullet hole here. Exactly where we see in the Zapruder film. So the Zapruder film showing us 2 shots striking this manhole cover here. Today we go there and we see 2 bullet holes right there. So what are they covering up? Is the government covering it up, or who else is covering things up? This is what gets me confused when it comes to JFK assassination. We have all this photographic evidence, okay? And we know that these films and images line up with one another because we see, like in All Jen's image number 6 here, see the position of the people in JFK's limo and in the surroundings. We have the police officers on their motorcycles in the same position, in the same location. We have Mr. President Kennedy, Governor Connolly, and their wives, and the 2 Secret Service agents in the front seat in the same position. Even the flags are in the same position. If you look at the flags, same position. So we know all Jen's images lining up with the Zapruder film because it's lined up with frame 254. So we know this is real and we know this is real. So if these 2 can match, that means there was no altering done to the Zapruder film, because if the Zapruder film was altered, this image could not match any of the frames in this Zapruder film, which I'll point that out. Same as goes with this one right here. We have the same people in the same location, position, and everything else. All right. If the Zapruder film was altered again, this wouldn't match up with All Jen's image number 7. We look at the Orville Nix film. If the Orville Nix film, if the Zapruder film was altered, then frame 330 wouldn't line up with frame 40 of the Orville Nix film. But in the Orville Nix film, we can see the shot, and in frame 330 of the Zapruder film, we see the bullet impacting Governor Connolly's back. Both of these frames line up with one another. It's just we're seeing it from different views from different sides. So you see, there was no altering done to any of the film's images. So with that in mind, who's doing the cover-up? Is it the government? The government's only telling us the story of Oswald took 3 shots. Magic bullet shot, fatal headshot JFK, and a missed shot. That's what the government tells us in their story. Other than that, they're showing us everything else. They're showing us the films. They're showing us the images and all the stuff so we can see this. So you see what I'm saying? Now, who's doing the cover-up? It's not the government. It's not the mob. You don't see the mob coming and stepping forward, are you? Or Cuba stepping forward, are you? You don't hear nobody else around the world stepping forward and says, oh, we're behind the assassination of JFK. Only the conspiracy people, which is a lot of these JFK researchers, they're the ones that are pointing the fingers. They are the ones that are saying these stories are false. They're the ones that's claiming all these images are altered and films altered. This person's telling a lie, that person's telling. It's the researchers. That's where your conspiracy starts. That's where the conspiracy always starts, is from a researcher, not from a government. Government is just telling us 3 shots fired, Oswald. They're just telling the story. Far as showing you photographic evidence, everything else, it's there. It's been out there for years now, but we can see it. The manhole cover's been there for the past 54 years. We can still go there and touch and see both bullet holes today. So see if there's a cover up, that concrete should have been removed if there was a cover up. Okay? But if they remove the concrete, then they're going to have suspicion. People's going to say, well, why are you removing that for? Like to remove the curb where James Tague was standing. There's people out there trying to come off with the bullet that struck JFK, that exploded in JFK's head, was a piece of that bullet, so one struck that curb. That's what has been said. So you see, researchers are going to tell you a lot of stuff. But where is that conspiracy at? Keep that in mind. When you look at this stuff and you read the stuff, and this is what reason makes me think, is I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube about the JFK assassination. And there's a lot of them out there, believe you me. But they always bring up that word conspiracy. The government's covering it up. The government is hiding something. The government is this. The government is that. But when you look at it in reality, and not bringing politics in anything, when you look at reality, what are they covering up? They're just telling a story. Same as researchers are, telling a story. Other than that, everything's the same still. We know JFK was shot. We know Governor Connolly was shot. We know there was distraction shots taken. Okay, we know Oswald was a part of it. These are all facts. but it's always on both sides. No matter which way you can look at it, Oswald being a patsy or Oswald being an assassin, he's still a part of it, no matter which way you look at it. But I just want to make this short video here. I know it's not that short, but I want to make this video here, point out some of the stuff, who is actually doing the cover up, who is actually doing the conspiracy. And I'm not going to point fingers. I told what I said in my opinion, but I want you to think about it. Because is it the government doing a cover up, or is it the researchers doing a cover up? Who's doing a cover up? Because as I point out, if you watch my videos and everything else, I have a lot of evidence I've uncovered that's always been in front of the public's eye. So if this evidence has always been in front of the public's eye, who's doing the cover up? Why are they afraid of bringing this stuff out? Because even after I brought this out, as you noticed, no one will talk about this information. No one will show this information. Why? Why don't they want to show this information? Why don't they want to present this and say, hey, there was more assassins there that day. Hey, there was more shots fired that day. Hey, here's the gunman's location. Why don't they want to point this out? Even on the conspiracy side, you got conspirators out there going, well, if you could prove there was more than 3 shots fired that day, you could prove there was another gunman. It's there. It's been in the public's eye for 50 years, over 54 years. Why hasn't anybody found it? Why did it take all these years to go by for one person to find this information and give this information out when it's always been there in front of the public's eye? Think about it. Who's doing a conspiracy? As I point out, I made another video before this about reality into the case. Okay, I'm gonna make some more videos here soon. It's just I've been working on my car. You know, I just got done putting new spark plugs and wires on, and coil pack and everything else, getting it all tuned back up. But I just want to make a couple more videos today and post over there for the people for the weekend. Hopefully I can get maybe a couple more videos tomorrow, maybe Sunday as well. But I wanted to make these 2 videos here because at night I've been watching a lot of JFK videos and stuff on YouTube and stuff, and you hear people talk about conspiracy, government cover-ups, and all this other stuff. What are they covering up? The images and films there. You can go on the net. I can probably put sites out where you can go on the net and get a copy of the Zapruder film or the Orville Nix film, you know, or images of the Mormon photo. You can get all that stuff on the internet now. Excuse me, when I first started this, you couldn't get none of this kind of information on the net. But now you can. But I just want to make these videos here, you know, just give somebody something to think about as who's actually doing a cover-up. Okay, that's all it is just who's doing a cover-up. I'm in my video before this one of no one's going to know who was the main head guy behind the assassination of JFK. No matter which way you look at it, people will speculate this person, that person, but no one will never know. Same as a conspiracy here. Who's running the conspiracy? Once you figure them 2 out, then you're going to know who was behind, say, a JFK assassination, and you're going to know who's doing all the cover-up because it's the same people. Thank you, and don't forget the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Share this video and my other videos with people. Always in the description down below, you'll find a site where you can order my books, Evidence of Conspiracy. The only book you'll ever need in JFK assassination with photographic evidence from cover to cover. More research has been done in there. More evidence you're going to find in there. All colorized images. I think there's probably 1 or 2 black and white images in there, but mostly it's colorized images that I've done. So that's the only book you ever need is Evidence of Conspiracy, and a site down below. You'll find, in the description down below, you'll find the site where you can order that book. Paperback or Kindle. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.